All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to Board Conversation Podcast with me, Medina at Oyedele. Today, as usual, I have another interesting personality with me. His name is so big that eventually I'll have to just call him Ambassador. All right. So, are you ready for today's conversation? I am. And so, let's just have our guest come in and we'll start. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much
much.
for joining us. It's such a privilege. I haven't watched you over the years. Your consistency, your passion, your excellence in doing things, and I'm just wondering how is it doing it? And like I said before, one thing that endeared me to you is your boldness in expressing all your gifts and then stand by it like this is who I am. I don't have to pick. I can be everything and be good at once. So let me know where it's comfortable for you to start this conversation from. You can just start from there.
Okay, anywhere is comfortable. I mean, anywhere is comfortable. I'm in for the ride.
Okay, so let me see. I love this question because I feel like somehow our background or our childhood has a lot to play in the person that we had today, either negatively or positively. So I like that conversation. Was your childhood does it have any role to play in this total package that you have become?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I'm even glad that we are starting with this one
Like,
because
yeah.
sometimes people don't understand this. You
Mm,
know, a lot of times they try to box every other person into a tiny description.
yeah.
Growing up for me was interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I'll just summarize my academic experience.
Yeah.
I used to be this smart kid, smart chap, smart in class, very bookwormish person. I'll do well in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do well, really well in school. But then
Mm,
I'll come home to meet a father who is an artist. He knows how to dance, he knows how to draw, every form of almost every form of art that you can think of. He
mm,
makes sculptural works, he makes very beautiful life size, bust size sculptural works. And beyond all that, he still does sports. My dad is an athlete. I mean, he's a superstar. He has medals and awards that he won. You know, talk about race, sprint, marathon, cross country, all of those things. My dad was an athlete, and he's still very athletic now.
wow.
In his 70s, he's still very athletic.
That
Now,
is really
um,
interesting.
uh, there's more. There's more. My dad is an artist, a woodworker, a metal worker. He's into welding. He welds, beautiful gates, church designs, a lot of things. So this is who I am going to go and meet at home.
Hmm.
My mom. I didn't mention my dad is also a retired lecturer. Let me spare the details. There are a
Oh
lot of things I cannot even remember.
boy.
So now my,
Oh
my, my mom, my mom is my mom was a teacher. She started out as a teacher. She
boy.
was
Okay.
a teacher in primary schools, and then she became an education officer at National Museum. Started
Mm,
at somewhere in the east, you
yeah.
know, and she kept on moving in the ranks.
Mm,
However, my mom would pass as a chef. She would pass. And I mean, I miss my mom. I miss having her around because I mean, I don't have to worry about what I'll eat or the taste of it. It's
no.
going to bang.
Yeah.
It's going to make sense. So now my mom cooks excellent meals. She draws, she paints. She
Mm,
does painting. I wish I had one of her paintings here, but I don't. They should be at home in the
yeah.
east. So now she does all of that. She
Yeah.
creates different things. She creates artistic works, clay pots and all those stuff, all this creative stuff. She's
Mm,
very good.
mm,
Fascinator, bead making,
mm.
crocheting, hairdressing. What else? What else can my mommy not do? There are plenty.
Oh
Not
boy.
just that.
Oh boy.
I'm going to meet my brothers, you
Yeah.
know. I'm going to meet my brothers. The first, the twins, you know,
Mm.
the first one took after my dad and added extra. He paints, he draws, he's an art therapist. He does so many things. He knows how to dance. So many things, so many to mention, and he does all these things excellently well, and he
Please.
earns from them independently. He makes liquid soap. He produces liquid soap.
Yeah, well,
Yes, and different companies will be ordering. Churches, organizations, they will order. So different things. Interestingly, when they got married, they equally got married to people who are multi-talented, and then my immediate elder brother, I mean the twins, they're similar. One is in arts, the other one is in sciences. This one is doing different things in sciences. At a point he ventured into real estate. He was doing fish farming. He was producing fish and exporting even outside Nigeria. He was doing so many things, and they were excelling. you
yeah.
know Talk about real estate and the rest. He was doing really well. So that's by the side. My immediate elder brother, I posted him on Facebook yesterday. He was to speak at a tech event. It's more like a meeting point between technology and law, intellectual property protection, and all that, signing contracts and stuff. So he is a lawyer, primarily a lawyer.
Okay.
Eventually, he started working with a tech company,
Yeah.
data analysis, data protection, and data privacy, all those things. He's a cloud solutions architect. He writes, he sings, he's a poet. He composes very powerful poems. He writes really well. He So many other things, he speaks so many things. He plays the violin excellently well. Now, these are the people I grew up with. And do you
Oh,
know how depressing it was to be the guy who just knows how to pass exams? So growing up and seeing my brothers being able to do different things, that was life to me. But then I was bookwormed. I was focused on my books, and I was doing well. I mean, I was doing well. The averaging in 90s and all that, best student in this, best, packing all the awards. But I felt something was missing.
gap.
I could see that in my family. So now, I was not so under so much pressure. I was getting the accolades, but I wasn't under so much pressure. So when
Mm.
a point came, I started adapting. I didn't even intentionally do it. I was just living life. It was like it was coming in seasons for me. And being
Yeah.
the last born, I would learn a bit of this from this person, catch a bit of this from this person, catch a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of. I know a lot of things. I know many things about art history, about contemporary art in Nigeria. I know a lot of those things based off the people around me. you know I know
Yeah.
about music, about composers, about that. A lot of ideas. I know about legal acts, contract, assault, battery, this, that, all their lingua. I have them in my head based off the people I engage with around me. These are the people who mentored me. They are
Mm-hmm.
my brothers. I still regard them as my mentors. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so the aura of multi potentiality
Yeah.
surrounded me.
Mm-hmm.
It encapsulated me.
Mm.
But when I came out into the society proper, when I left home and I went into school, the university, and I realized that people thought I was doing too much.
They want to box you.
Yes, people thought I was doing too much. People were complaining, CJ, today you are here, today you are this. You're talking about personal branding, you're talking about digital learning, you're talking about this one and networking. And choose one place and stay. Do one thing. Let's know where you are. You are everywhere. See, sure. I've not even started. Like, I'm just scratching the surface, and people are already complaining. You have to be ready for it. So, this is the role my childhood played. This is
Mm.
the role it played in the whole thing. I saw it. It's
Yeah.
not somebody can come and tell me, oh, tell me any multi-talented person that you know that is successful. Shut up. I have them in my family, and I
Mm.
am one of them. Just shut up if you have not seen, and I'll show you. So that's the summary of this, of the a lot of things that I wanted to say.
Wow. I, I just knew that there will be something that has to do with your background that has impact on your personality as a person right now. and that kind of speaks volume of the environment the child grows up in and the kind of influence that it has on the child. So let's start like this again. Um, what do you have to say with jack of all trades, master of none?
Woo! Jack of all trades, master of none, but
Yes.
oftentimes better than a master of one. That is the actual complete saying. Why are they not telling us that? Jack of all trades, master of none, good and fine, but most times better than a master of one. In the medieval era, in the what they even call it again? Uh, Let me leave what they call it. The Renaissance period.
Yeah.
The jack of all trades, it has a history.
Yeah.
It has a history. The medieval jacks were the ones who were called, they were highly regarded in society. They needed them for everything. They
Mm-hmm.
were they were healers, they were musicians and artisans. They were the ones you would call to come to your house and make repairs. You know, they were the ones who would come out and repair the roads. They were in high demand and they were few, they were scarce. So they were precious commodities. Okay, so that's the origin of the jack. Jack is a proud guy because he is scarce. The glory of jack is too much to carry. So now people became envious and kind of flipped the switch on jack. Oh, jack of all trades, master of none. It doesn't stop there, but oftentimes better than a master of one. That means the full saying was actually referring to that jack, because you can get an expert who can repair your car or
Mm-hmm.
repair or treat your horse, for example. Repair your chariot, the tire of your chariot or whatever. Um, at the same time, you are also looking for someone to fix your toilet or fix your light bulb,
Yes.
whatever.
Mm.
You know, so now it is way better to find somebody who is competent enough to do this and do that
Wait,
than for
yes.
you to find only one.
Mm. And then
You
you're
can
looking
imagine
for
the
the
stress. Exactly. You can imagine the stress of running up and down. You are looking for this, looking for that. By the time you finish hiring like 30 different people to do 30 different things for you, you must have gotten tired. You are not a magician. You tire.
and then you spend more.
Exactly. You spend way more. You spend way more. So the jack actually makes it a win-win situation. I have people who meet me and they come to me for one thing. And then they begin to have conversation with me and they realize, guy, you are too gifted. You know, you are only you, physiotherapist, only you are speaking like this and communicating with such dexterity, with
Mm.
such level of intelligence and maturity. Only you, women's health advocate, haba. I have something in my foundation. I have something in this one. This coming up. Please, I want to partner with you. Few days ago, I was reached out to from LinkedIn or Instagram. I don't know. We saw that you are women's health, this, and then your knowledge of physiotherapy and blah 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 blah. I would want you to, we want to pitch a partnership to you. So recently, I've been getting a lot of hits. I'm not even doing anything. I'm not even actively hustling anything. But I've been getting hits because people are seeing competence and excellence in multiple dimensions and it's
One
attracting
person.
them. Yes, from one person. So they are people today, they want a speaker, a physiotherapist, a coach, a mentor at the same time. It's easier. It's way easier. I have worked with many people like that.
Yeah.
So, oh, I'm treating this client, I'm treating the patient in the hospital, and then they listen to me speak, and they're like, okay, you speak well. How do you become so good at communicating? You are different. And I'm like, well, I've been learning public speaking and I train public speakers as well. And oh, nice. Can you train me? I want to learn how to speak as well. I'm like, yeah, why not? Oh, it's money doubling. Some be like, oh, do you have experience training children? Sure. Can you train my kids? Sure, I can. Now your money kill am. If we talk price and the price is sweet for both of us, I will do it. So that's it. The ideology or the philosophy that jack of all trades is a master of none is actually a very silly one. It's non-existent. It's a bias that that makes no sense. So what I advocate for me, I do not identify as a jack of all trades. In quote, yes, it represents the multi-potential being,
Mm-hmm.
the identity. But
Yeah.
then, in the real sense of it, I can call myself a jack of many trades, because
Mm.
it's impossible to be a jack of all trades. It means, say, you can literally do everything,
Everything.
right? Even if they call you to go and steal, you go and steal
It's
all
yeah.
of them, everything. Bring deals we did. No, that's not it. It's multi-dimensional excellence with
Mm.
clarity. So I am a jack of many trades, and I'm a master of a good number of them, and that is what I'm freaking proud of. Yes. So,
Wow. Master of multi-dimensional excellence.
hmm, yes. So,
I picked that. Wow. So let me see. If you were to pick out of all the skills that you have, which one would that be?
yes, I'll pick one. I'll pick
Okay.
one,
Which one?
and that one is not necessarily. It doesn't have a name.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is not necessarily. It is not necessarily a skill,
Mm-hmm.
but an ability to
Okay.
synthesize multiple ideas, to synthesize my multiple skills.
I'm
So,
interested.
so, so what I did, what I did is I used more like an umbrella strategy.
Yeah.
So now I cannot say, in fact, it is practically impossible for me to tell you one thing that I'm going to pick if I'm to pick one. But
Mm.
this is what I did. If I should ever say one thing, it is going to be across multiple sectors. I can give you one across multiple sectors. And why it can be one is because that one embodies almost every other thing. It was
Mm.
part of the reasons I ventured into life coaching,
Mm.
because I knew life coaching would give me an open door.
To
I can talk
express.
about relationship, I can talk about marriage, and even though I'm not married, I can talk about anything. Even the one I will talk about, people want to beat me, I will talk about it. It's my credibility being being a life coach. And another bias would even come in. Some people will say, "Oh, you are too young to be a life coach. That one, let's leave it for now. I'll tackle it later." So life coaching opens the door to many things:
Yeah.
finance, emotional well-being, health. So in at a point, I had to start looking at it from that angle. Okay, this life coaching, what are all of the pivots of well-being,
Yeah.
including spirituality?
Mm.
So spiritual, physical, emotional, financial, you know, everything, social,
Mm.
everything. So
Mm-hmm.
when I also look at people, when I treat people, when I engage with people, even as a physiotherapist, I love to do that from a holistic perspective. It is not going to be hard for you if you are a patient or a client of mine. It's not going to be hard for you to know, to identify, to spot, to pick out that this guy is different. So this
Yes.
guy is not the regular kind of person I've been meeting. No. Because I work with my patients in a very motivational way.
Mm.
you know Oh, why are you not doing exercises? Okay, why don't you think it this way? Why don't you process it this way? Okay, pain. Yes, you've gone through this, it has set you back, but then this is what you should be looking towards. This pain can become part of your story. Of course, you've experienced this, and it means that somebody else is experiencing it. And because you have gone through this, you can help them, you can tell your stories to inspire them, and then they go like,
Yeah.
this guy. I've never met
Are
someone.
you
I
from?
always have that report. I have never met someone else like you, you
Wow.
know. So in my own coaching program,
Mm.
remember I was talking about synthesis. In my
Yeah.
coaching program, at a point, my signature life coaching and mentoring program, at a point I noticed that there was no health in it. And I said, what am I even doing? Why should I be overthinking it? I don't need to create any special health, anything again. Just integrate health, synthesize. I added this series, health series,
Mm.
under my coaching program. So it means that anybody I am mentoring, anybody who is passing through my coaching program, my life coaching program, or taking my life coaching course, there's a series on health, emotional well being, psychological well being, stress management, physical well being, exercise. There's a
Mm.
series that deals with all of those things.
Mm.
synthesis. So it's more like the umbrella, I call it the umbrella strategy.
Okay.
Now, on the other hand, when it comes to healthcare, I identify as a holistic health and wellness coach.
Coach, yes.
Holistic health and wellness coach would allow me to work with women, allow me to work with men, allow me to work with children, allow me to work with anybody I want to work with across any industry,
Mm.
corporate people, CEOs, C-suite leaders, executives, whoever.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I identify as a what else? What else? Women's health. Women's health. Now, see what I did. Most of the things I do
Mm-hmm.
is about creating something that doesn't box me in. If I want to start every community I have started, you
Yeah.
cannot tie them to one identity. You can't tie them to one particular purpose.
Mm.
You can't. You know,
Yeah.
Healthy, Wealthy Moms Club, it's wealth creation and well-being, health and wealth creation, you know,
Mm.
which basically summarizes growth. There's nothing, there's no branch you want to mention that I cannot fix into it. So I have the privilege to talk to my moms, I mean to my community, the women in my community, about
Mm.
fertility. I have the responsibility of talking to them about childbearing, about
Mm.
parenting,
Mm.
about pregnancy, about delivery, about labor, about postpartum life, postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, whatever it is, postpartum recovery. I have the privilege of doing that because I did not box it in,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know.
Mm.
So, holistic, I mean, women's health and wellness coach, I opened the funnel again,
Mm-hmm.
women, and I started subcategorizing the women I work with.
Yeah.
One, pregnant women. Two, women who just gave birth. Three,
Mm.
mothers generally. Four,
Mm.
mothers of children with special needs. Five, what's the fifth one? Mothers, women who are trying to conceive.
Once.
Then six, women in or every women in their reproductive season or every woman in their reproductive age. Then finally, not even finally, the window is open. Post-menopausal women.
Yeah.
In
That's
fact, there's a transition period for every woman.
mm.
Usually for as early as 37, which is rare, very rare. For most people, 45 to 55 window. That early period before that 1 year is called perimenopause. She may be seeing symptoms, but she doesn't know what's going on. For some
Mm.
women, they get depressed at that point.
Mm.
They run from one doctor to another and they keep telling them it's all in your head, nothing is wrong with you, it's normal. Or for some women, at that period, maybe
Mm.
they've gone 6 months and they did not see anything and
Yeah.
they rejoice. So thank God though. Natural family planning don't land. And then they will go and next thing, 52 years old, and junior is born. you know. So
Yeah.
so the window is pretty much open. How
Mm.
can I be less when I can be more? I tell people this: why be a course when you can be the whole university? I see no point. So God has given me that wisdom. He has given me
Mm.
the opportunity in people, in places, in platforms,
Mm.
in programs, the opportunity to attend events and learn different things, to have conversations with people and learn from their perspectives. So
Mm.
now I see somebody who is about to drown. I have the knowledge of first aid. I have the knowledge. Okay, let's assume that I have the knowledge of how to save a drowning person. But I'm like, oh, society is going to judge me. I need to pick a niche. They said I should pick a niche. If I don't pick a niche, I will not succeed. Focus, follow one course until success. Yeah, so people are going to judge me, and then somebody is crying out in that river. He's going to drown. Help me, help me, help me, help me. But you are like, no, people are watching. I have identified as a personal branding coach, and I cannot do anything outside of personal branding. It will stain my brand. So if he wants to die, let him die. No, no. While you are hiding the multi-dimensional preciousness, the multi-dimensional awesomeness, the different gifts that God has given you, that God has placed in your life, people
Mm.
are perishing, people are dying. I get hosted in churches to speak on different things. I've been hosted in a women's conference to talk about menopause. I've been hosted to talk about wealth creation. I've been hosted to talk about health. There's, in
Yeah.
fact, there's almost nothing that I've not talked about. This is my life, you know. So so yes, that's basically it. That's basically it.
Wow.
The
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, I think I don't make mistake with my personalities that I bring on board because every time I sit down with them, already I can pick them. And every time I sit down with them, I see why I actually unpick my personalities. And I'm so glad I did this and you're here with us. Like I'm just trying to see myself in all of this. You know, this podcast was actually Edu Titan. I was hosting it as Edu Titan. And then
Yes.
I just took a break and I told myself, I'm not cut out to educate us alone. I'm a life coach.
Hmm.
I do so many things. When I call this in Edu Titan, they don't want to call a guest. They're thinking I'm not a teacher. I'm not in education. I'm like, no. So I had to look for something that will allow me to encompass everybody. Like the next guest that will be coming on is in finances.
Mm-hmm.
And I just told myself this podcast has a name that will allow people to come in and then I myself I'll be able to express myself in the different dimension that I have. You know, so hear you talk right now just kind of validates what I'm doing. And I'm like, yay, so let me do something right. So I want to ask, what was university like for you and why did you choose to be a physiotherapist out of your many passions?
Okay. Okay, let me tell you the story. I didn't choose physiotherapy. Physiotherapy chose me. I didn't even know what physiotherapy was when I was given the admission. Um, I applied for medicine alongside many others. You know, most times what we know, what you know is what your parents told you is medicine, engineering, and law, right? And being a smart kid who is very good with the sciences, especially biology, you know, winning multiple awards in secondary school, and uh, everyone was just waiting for me. Oh, doctor, doctor, doctor. Everybody was waiting for me to do medicine. And so I went to write jam. I didn't know what physiotherapy was. I applied for medicine, and then I was close in the merit list. Jam and post UTME, I was close. I think they took only about seven something by merit. I was 100 and something out of the hundreds. I don't know whether they were up to hundreds of thousands, but that's not the issue. Now, I got into school and I still had the mindset. Yes, I wanted to switch to medicine. I still had the mindset. The pressure was also still there. People wanted me, I mean, people around me wanted me to study medicine because this physiotherapy, what is it? As at the time I got the admission to study physiotherapy, it wasn't really, people didn't know what it was. I didn't know, you can imagine, I didn't know. Many of my classmates, we just bump into ourselves. Guy, what's up? What are we even doing? Like this course, what is it about? I'm like, I don't know. Okay, they gave you two. Yes, they gave me two. I applied for this, I applied for that. This is what I saw. So interestingly, after a while, I still wanted to switch to medicine. Now, my grade point, there were like some results that didn't come out before I made the final decision. So now my grade point was bouncing around the borderline that would qualify me to actually switch. Not necessarily qualify me, what will give me a better edge. Because I didn't want anybody to be saying I helped you, I was not interested. So my grade point at that time, my cumulative was just dancing around the borderline. So I looked at it and I was like, okay, there were two courses that were about to come out. They had not released. And those two courses, I knew that they will finish me. I was convinced. you know, I was convinced that those two courses will not be good. One of them was statistics. I hated statistics. Till today, I still don't like. I hate statistics. I hate it. Tell me chi-square, pi x, pyruvate. I'm even adding biochemistry inside it to tell you how bad it is. So, um, I wasn't interested. I was not interested any longer. When I saw that, okay, this is dancing around here, and then it's going to stress me mentally. It was already stressing me mentally. Like the physiotherapy that I got admission to study is stressing me. It's overwhelming me, and I'm now thinking how to divide my attention to go and be running up and down, shifting letter, writing letter up and down, and all that. I said, so let me just leave it. I'm not even sure it's going to work out, but let me just leave it and focus on what I'm studying. Let me understand what I'm studying at least. So I remember my brother calling me one time. I was in front of the school clinic. He called me on phone. Oh, CJ, what's up? That your change of course. How far? When are you doing it? I say, abeg, abeg, no na leave me. I no do again. I'm not changing. Let this one. Let me just do it and finish. Let me focus. We're even about to write exams. So let me just focus and do this one and come out. Say okay. But when you finish, if you still want to do medicine, you can go ahead. You can go and do medicine surgery. I say okay, fine, thank God.
It's like the way you're expressing yourself is not making any sense to them. Like, Sha, do this medicine, Sha, do this medicine.
Yeah, exactly. So now I I made up my mind and I said, okay, even if I don't do this medicine and surgery now, I'll be really good as a physiotherapist. And I went to go and start searching. I went to go and start researching what is physiotherapy. That was in my second year after I made up my mind. And when I read it, I was like, wow, I mean, this is really what I wanted to do. This is what I want. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know under the surface, on top of the surface of this earth, I didn't know there was anything like that. But when I was reading through, I was like, this is glorious. I've never wanted to do internal. I've never wanted to go through anything that will expose me to the human body inside. It will be cutting and seeing. Sometimes water will splash on you, blood will splash on you, all those things. I mean, it was nasty to me. I mean, it was something I didn't want to do. You get exposed to a lot of things, and this is Nigeria. Sometimes you be doing all those things, they'll tell you there are no gloves in the hospital. They say there are no gloves. Let me not talk, let me not expose what is happening in this part of the country. I need to put my country in a good light, so let me not talk. So now I was not interested in all the internal whatever. And if I should apply to be a medical doctor, I would navigate towards public health or family medicine. Something that is just cool. I don't want surgery. I don't want anything orthopedic. I don't want surgery and all. Anything that will be seeing internal, or seeing things in people's skin. I'm not interested. So, but I cannot just jump to that part. I can't jump to family medicine without doing my residence, doing my housemanship and all those. And you'll be made to go around. You will see all those things you don't want to see. You know. So even as a physiotherapist with interest in women's health, I did not want to do internal. I didn't want anything internal. I do not want. I've done training programs on pelvic floor rehabilitation, pelvic floor assessment, and all that. But please, I just want to be doing education. I just want to be teaching. That one, I'll be teaching it. I know it in my head. I can find people that I can commit it to teach them. They will learn and go, but I'm not interested. So when I saw that physiotherapy was primarily external,
Yeah.
I could work with people without having to give them pain medication, without having to, I could work with people and
Hmm.
get certain results. And by the time I started going to the clinic, somebody will come to clinic and then the pain is like 8/10, and by the time we're done, they're like, wow, I barely feel the pain any longer. I mean, it's just like maybe a 2 or a 3.
Mm.
And by 3 4 sessions, they are discharged. I'm like,
Mm.
this thing is next level magic. I mean, there's some Merlin stuff going on here. So I was sold. I was sold. I had a
Yeah.
lecturer then. He's now a professor, Professor Omuna. So he picked interest in me. Occasionally, he will call me when he's seeing a patient, when he attends to his own patient. He
Mm.
had a place where he attends to patients. He will call me. As part of the team, he would always, where's Chijoke? Chijoke, I did not see you yesterday. Chijoke, come. So he will call me. He will drag me. I'll come. So when he sees patients, I mean, he treats some patients, and then the relief, the change in their lives is just so instant, just so amazing. Like, wow, wow.
This is some dopamine.
Eh, Honestly, next level dopamine right here. So yeah, I was impressed and I was sold. I
Yeah.
loved every bit of it.
Mm,
Now, I started doing more research. I found out it was broad. There was a lot of room for me. And me being a multidimensional person, I'll tell you one challenge I faced. uh, I remember when we were having arguments in a group. There's a group I belong to. Thousands of physiotherapists and students are there, physiotherapy students. So we were having arguments about specialization. So this same matter, they carried it and brought it into physiotherapy. I said, what's wrong with all of you? Me, I said, I don't want to specialize. I love being where I am. I love being where I am. So I said, Seku, can you still hear me? Okay,
I
okay.
can
So
hear
I
you now.
said, I love being where I am.
Mm-hmm. All right. Our guest just left. I'll try and see and bring him back. Okay, he's back. So let's see if he's able to
Okay.
come.
Can
All right.
you hear me now?
Yes, can you hear you now? Just need to put on your camera.
Good, good. So now I said, um,
In
we're
the
having the conversation about specialization,
mm,
and someone told me, I said, I don't want to specialize. In fact, no, I said, I want to specialize in different areas. I wanted to do three different specialties. Now I'm the one alone here.
yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go.
Okay. So like I was saying, I told them that I wanted to do three different specializations.
Mm-hmm.
One, one, women's health
Mm-hmm.
physiotherapy. That's obstetrics and gynecology physiotherapy. Two, musculoskeletal physiotherapy and sports together. You know, I was interested in sports physiotherapy and musculoskeletal orthopedic physiotherapy and all that. Then three, a tiny aspect of neurology, a tiny aspect, hand rehabilitation, just a fraction of neurology, you know, and then maybe pain neuroscience education, just. So somebody attacked me immediately. No, someone I respect so much. No, it's not possible. This one. I cannot be that. I'm dreaming. You know, it cannot be. You can never be efficient in this practice. You can never be efficient if you don't specialize, if you don't pick a niche. That even in business world, they say it like this. So who makes you think you can do this in healthcare? The healthcare is this, healthcare is that. I say, sir, see, and he was like, "Eh, you cannot ascend the ranks, you cannot ascend the ladders, and you will not be, you know, you specialists are paid higher than generalists." Bloody, he was just talking. I said, sir, one, I am never going to compare myself with a specialist.
Mm-hmm.
That life is freaking boring. I'm not interested in just doing one thing and continue for years, seeing the same case over and it's
Yeah.
not exciting to me. It doesn't excite my brain. My brain is wired differently. So, and then secondly, if you're going to say this one is earning more than this, that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
On what ground? So, I am a public speaker,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a physiotherapist. So, if I decide I'm going to do different things as a physio, right? And I'm also a public speaker. And with the whole integration stuff, it increases my value. When I go to speak somewhere and they pay me a 1 million naira, for example, you know, pay me a 1 million naira for speaking for an hour,
Mm-hmm.
right? And one specialist somewhere that has spent 35 years specializing is still earning 600,000. What is 600,000? 455,000 in one private clinic in Wuse, and he's bragging. He's doing like this because he's a specialist. Makes absolutely no sense to me. Meanwhile, for me as a physiotherapist who is also a trainer or an instructor, I can become what's it called? I can become a facilitator,
Yeah.
a resource person. So you need knowledge, call me, I'll distribute the knowledge, you pay me, I go. Sharp work. I'm not in the clinic speaking plenty grammar for patients, doing push and pull. No.
Uh,
So I analyzed all those things and I told him, this is not what I want to do. So even if you say, okay, if you say there's no room for me, if I don't want to specialize, no problem. I would want to just be an instructor, a facilitator. I'll just be teaching. I'll go outside, learn a skill, come back and teach Nigerian physiotherapists what happened. And they will pay me.
mm.
So the guy now asked me, oh, do you think anybody is going to engage you if you are not
Oh,
a specialist?
oh,
He
oh.
said, nobody, no conference, no webinar, not they will not engage you unless you are a specialist and you have gone through specialty programs. I said, sir, watch and see. This thing, it was in a group. I said, this thing you said, I'll prove you wrong. I don't know how, but I'll prove you wrong. Less than 6 months after that, I organized a training that attracted over 1,000 physiotherapists from different parts of the world. It was a free training, yeah, but
Mm.
then that training was phenomenal.
One
Over a
thousand.
thousand physiotherapists registered for the training. Do you know? Less than 6 months later, down the line, I had not even I was still okay. I just finished my internship.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
finished my internship, did my youth service.
Mm.
Yes, was it before or after? I can't even remember. But within that period,
Yeah.
I did a training that attracted our board chairman, the licensing board for every physiotherapist in Nigeria. Even
Mm.
if you go and study abroad, if you come to Nigeria, you will get licensed by the board,
Mm.
Medical Rehabilitation Therapist of Nigeria. I did a training at National Hospital. I collaborated with National Hospital, a training, a continuous professional development training. And the board chairman, I messaged him, I told him about the training, he gave the go ahead, he helped me facilitate everything, and he was present the day one of the training that was virtual. Day two of the training, he was present at National Hospital for that training. So he was part of the participants and he made wonderful remarks about my delivery skills, my facilitating skills. And then he said, this thing that you have done is encouraged. Do more of it. I will support you. Right in front of everyone. Now, my joy is not that I've done this. My joy is that somebody told me that nobody will engage me if I'm not a specialist.
Mm.
Within the next 2 3 months, I had done over 7 different training programs for Medical Rehabilitation Therapists Board of Nigeria.
Mm.
Now they engaged me as a facilitator. I have done a number of programs for Nigerian Society of Physiotherapists.
Mm.
I've been part of different movements, different. So now my face has become an essence, like a family face on flyers. So
Mm.
almost every flyer that you see, there's a training. You use that and be looking for Chicho Kotiba in the flyer. If there are more than 2 people, I may be there. Just look well, you will see my head. So
Mm.
now the same person that told me I will never make it if I'm not a specialist eventually enrolled in my program.
Oh boy.
It wasn't the program was not even anything about physiotherapy. The program was different. It was a coaching program, separate. So I was working with him one on
Mm.
one. I was working with him one. So his own perspective changed. Now he's advocating for multipotential life. Yeah. Now he's telling the younger physiotherapists to not be stuck in the physiotherapy lie that we have been sold. Oh,
Mm.
if you're a good physiotherapist, you're going to be made. You at least you'll be comfortable. You know, it's boring
You
to say
see.
the least. It's boring. Yeah. So this is me navigating different cycles, even within my profession and many more. There are many more things that I have penetrated being a physiotherapist.
Yeah.
I did. I did first aid as a course. As a
Mm,
third year student in the university, I got
mm,
certified as a first aid and BLS provider.
mm,
I kept renewing it. So before I even graduated, I had a very powerful portfolio and profile,
mm.
you know, that
Yeah.
people will look at. In fact, by my fourth year in the university,
Mm.
if I had applied for a job, I'm sure I'll get it.
Got
The
it.
only thing is that I don't have license to practice. But if
Mm,
I were to apply for a job, I would have gotten it. You know, and it's because of that open eye. I tear eye well. I tear eye. You say tech, I did there. You say business, I did. Entrepreneurship, I did.
mm.
Emotional well-being, na me be that. Mental health, I've gone far with mental health. I've trained mental health professionals.
Yeah.
Yes. So my legs are spread. If you're looking for an animal, an animal, is it an animal? I don't even know what it is. Octopus, a
October. Yeah.
being. uh That's the way I see the world.
Mm,
Tentacles spread in different dimensions,
mm,
but it's still one being. It's still one body. It's still one identity, one core identity,
mm.
and you are able to use all those tentacles excellently. So
Wow. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. So, my God, like, I don't know. I mean, I think I'll just have to come back and sit down with this conversation all over again. But I'm thinking, what would what will you say to parents that try to box their children? Because personally, I'm a French language. That's what I started out with online, like a French language expert, and then I started podcasting, and then I discovered I just love writing, and not only French books. Like I write different topics, like different as it's coming to my head. In 1 month, I wrote like 10 books. When I say that to people, like, maybe you charge it. I'm like, no, like, no. I was writing from the place of pain. So I had that energy. As a life coach, I'm able to, I train people to do that, like divert their pain to something productive. So that phase of my life was one of those dark moments. But instead of me like going down the spiral, I decided to channel that emotion. And then by the time I came out of that phase of life, I discovered that I'd written, like currently I have over 30 books. I still wrote one yesterday in 24 hours. Like that's how deep I write. So I mean, this is something that when I wanted to start this whole thing, I'm like, people will say branding, branding, branding. But before we even go how you can brand yourself as a multi-potential, I want you to talk to us about how can parents not box their children? Because most time from your conversation from the first start, I discovered that you grew up in an environment where it was nurtured. In fact, they didn't ask you to do it, but you saw it. So it created the enabling environment. So how can parents encourage their multi-potential children? How can parents enable create the enabling environment, especially I don't know what it is with Nigeria and Africa in terms of lawyer, engineer, and I think now they are believing in footballers and artists also. But I just want you to talk to us as an expert, yeah, as a as a multi potential expert, or as a multi potential. How can parents create the enable environment, and how can they not box their multi potential children?
awesome, awesome. The first thing is realizing something called unique life design model, identity archetype. Every individual is different. Every child is different. It's the principle of individuality. Every child is unique. Now, just imagine when God created us, God created man, gave us eyes, even two. Some of the organs and parts were doubling. Two, two nostrils, teeth 32. Just in case you lose one in a fight, you know, different things. Ears two, two hands, shoulders, fingers, 10 different fingers. Now, what we try to do most times is that we just look at a child and we're like, ah, look at this person. He's only using one leg. That's what society tells us. His every other thing in his body is useless. His only leg that is bouncing, and his leg is fine. So you discover your own so so at the end of the day, you're telling the child, okay, cut off every other thing and let's only engage your eyes, only engage one eye, your left eye. That's what we do. God has given us diverse interests, abilities. I know this is a mixed faith. People are going to be joining from different places. So the philosophy may not really align with every other person. But I would have started diving into the story of Joseph and the rest of them, of David, and how all those things, different identities manifested in their lives. But let me just keep it at this. You were not created to be one thing. Very bold statement, very bold. But that's it. It's an undeniable fact. We were all born multi-potentialites. We were all born multi-potentialites. The only thing is that as time went by, many people, because they were not cultured, they were not properly taught to manage the multiple identities and multiple potentials, they lost them. So please, parents, allow your child to write. Don't pluck them too early. Monitor your children, monitor your kids beyond even identity or multipotentiality. There are many parents who have silenced their gifted children. These kids, you see them, they're doing crafts, they are painting. That junior will cry. Oh. Go to school in the morning, he will cry because he knows that mathematics is the first subject. He wants to miss mathematics. He wants to go for art class. That math, he's not interested. So junior doesn't want to go, he will cry. They will beat him up, he will go to school, he will still be crying. Now when he comes back, exam time, he fails mathematics gladly, and he's not even angry. you know the father is wondering, why are you failing maths? If you don't pass maths and English, you can't go to the next class. Every other course he's doing well except for maths and English, and they keep pushing. It's maths and English. We want you to become an engineer. How can you be failing maths? No. Now monitor your children, look at their exam results, see where their minds are, see where they are going. It's not that you don't want them to do excellently well. I am privileged to be that. If I had my result, I would have displayed it here. It's inside. Straight A's in my junior WAEC, 15 courses, 15 A's. And it's also part of those things. You are looking at a child who is able to pass different courses, and you want him to choose one. You just want to streamline him and let him throw the rest away. So people are saying, oh, this is the I did 15 different courses, studied 15 different courses. I made all A's, arts and sciences. I was bagging awards in arts. I was bagging awards in sciences, you know, as best in English, best in Igbo, best in French, best in this one, best in agriculture, best in biology. All I was just packing and accumulating. Integrated science, best, this one. So now parents can observe their children, monitor their children, and see they are hinting you on their giftings. They are not emotionally mature enough, psychologically mature enough to actually navigate their own lives. You, as a parent, should be able to monitor them. This child that talks too much is probably a public speaker in the making. Don't try to box him in to be a doctor and then start directing everything. And, you know, mm-mm. This child that talks too much talks well. There are children who you listen to them, this child talks well. They're talking, they dance, then they play a lot, they play football and play well, and then they engage with other kids. My niece is like that. If you bring her to a congregation of children, she's the pack leader. Just know that you have brought the leader, and there's nothing you can do. You turn like this and turn back. Next thing, she's now directing you, go there. No, 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 don't touch it. You go there. You sit down. Sit down. One hefty child with macho at age of 2 or at the age of 3. She's When she's 2, she'll command 3-year-old boy, sit down. He will sit down. He will sit. So those are the qualities that you'll be looking out for. This is leadership in the making. It now needs to be properly nurtured. Do not try to just capsize and squeeze everything and throw away. No. This football you are playing is a distraction. It's medicine that you will do. Oh. Your father is a doctor. I don't know what you are doing. All these things you are doing. You are killing the child's dreams. You know, and who says there's this inherent fear that if you do one thing, you cannot be good at another. If you are a parent watching this, look at me. I am an example. Type my name on Google. There's something I do. Sometimes I talk with people and they're like, this and da. I don't think I've not, it will not be easy. This and that. I'm like, are you looking for a good example? Just go to Google, type my name, and it's not as if I'm bragging, or it's not as if I'm high up there, but just type my name. What you see will convince you that this thing is possible. And I'm young. I mean, I'm young. I'm young. I have a long way ahead of me as God keeps me alive. Now, it is a testament of possibility. That's part of the things that gives me joy for what I do. This thing is possible. So I even wish I started much earlier. My children, as I'm giving birth to them, there are different things. Oh, I'm buying football, basketball, all those things, put in my house. Buy different kinds of musical instruments and keep. It- Sometimes I feel under gifted. I feel like there are so many things I would have nurtured, but I didn't. I feel under gifted. I should be playing like 7 different musical instruments, but I cannot play any one. People still think I'm the baba of all multi-potential life, but I don't know how to play any musical instrument. So those are some of the things that we should start imbibing. They matter way more. Now you can see. Let me give you 2 quick examples. Now a child goes to a concert somewhere and mistakenly finds himself at the drum stand and starts drumming, and all of a sudden the owner of the concert says, leave him. So this child can go, wow, he will join our team. Whatever the parents want to be paid will pay. He will join our team. This is so good. We've never seen anybody play. You Hardly will you get any 9 to 5 job that will pay you the kind of money such opportunities will bring. That's one. And this is we see it happen on Facebook. Somebody will just come and trend on YouTube. Somebody just come randomly trend for one thing. Maybe a child that comes and starts doing beatboxing. All those things are the funny things that they do in the name of music, and does it well. And the next thing, Don Jazzy is saying, somebody send me, how can I get this boy? With all my 9 to 5, Don Jazzy never see me. you know so that's the thing. It is skills that will sell, and the more skilled you are, the more equipped you are for the future. The future of work is going to favor multi-talented people, because they'll find it easier to, one, blend, two, synthesize ideas, synthesize opportunities, synthesize philosophies. They'll find it easier to blend in anywhere. Then another example is using your skill and combining it with the digital world and going viral. So if I can sing, some of my coaching classes, I used to make jokes about it. If I know how to sing, if my voice comes out very melodious, I some of my coaching sessions will not come as talk, it will come as song. Hmm. I'll just do spoken word, hmm, for like 1 hour or 2 hours. In between, I'll just sing. I'll start singing. You know, I'll I'll be doing this. By the time you, if I'm imagine that me, life coach, every Sunday afternoon, I'll come out with my guitar and I'm like, everything that you want to do, just know that you can do. Da, 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 da. And every Sunday afternoon, I'll just be doing it. People will literally pay to just come and experience that, to just come and watch. And next thing, so you do this too, you do this too. Wow, wow. My husband was listening. No, no. Next thing, 1 million views. Look at I show speed. I'll use him as an example. So parents who are listening, go online and type I show speed, or just type speed online, type speed anywhere. YouTube, you'll see him. He's one guy I admire. I posted it on Facebook. People did not understand the post. I said, speed is not just about speed in life. Speed is about excellence. Okay.
Okay, you can hear
Okay, you
me.
can hear
All
me.
right, we're
Yes, I
back.
can.
We're back. All
We're
right.
back. All right. So now, like I was saying, I show speed is my role model. And I tell people this: you can love Ronaldo, you love Ronaldo, fine. You love Messi, fine. You love Rafael Nadal, fine. You love this one, Usain Bolt, fine. Those ones are the ones you want to be. You want to be top 1% of 1%. That's what you are looking after. I'm not interested in being 1% of the 1%. Make them carry their wahala go. If you want to be 1%, carry your 1% and go. I'm not interested. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't freak me out. I'm not looking to be the best in the world about on anything. I'm not interested. When you know this as a multi-potentialite, when you have this kind of mentality, it frees you from pressure.
Mm.
I'm not looking to be a billionaire in every different venture I set out. For what, Kwanu? For what? It may not be what even pleases you. Success
Yeah.
means different things to different people. Some, if you are multi-talented, part of you know, what the philosophy of your life includes in the definition of success is
Mhm.
the ability to identify as different things to different people and bring value across multiple sectors.
Yeah.
So if you know I show speed, this is one guy that has humiliated a lot of people in different competitions he did not train for. You know, he will go and somebody is running online. There was one is trending recently.
Okay.
Ashton Hall that's always running up and down online like he doesn't have a job. He will spray perfume, put his head in ice water, then start running in front of dog with his own jeep that they would be driving around. So the guy's always running, and the video effect makes it look like he's super fast. This I show speed challenged him to a race, went to the race, beat him 4 times. The guy made a video of himself crying, weeping. You know, I show speed has raced with some of the fastest people in the world. I think is it Noah Lyles or what's his name again? One of the fastest runners currently. And the
Mm.
guy only beat him by a fraction of seconds. I think by maybe 1 second or so, right?
Mhm.
So it means that this guy is just going around, and he has featured in charity cups, charity football matches.
Wow. Okay.
He has gone to WWE wrestling match and showed himself.
Mm-hmm.
The guy can do backflip, can do all those things. So he really really impressed people,
Mm.
and he's having fun running around. What does he do? He's a streamer on YouTube. He just streams. He's one of the richest YouTube streamers, if not the
Mm.
wealthiest. Young people who are into streaming.
Wow.
So being able to manifest different things and
Mm.
do them excellently well. He went to China and went to their kung fu temple, you know, and did some kung fu moves, kung fu training. Started doing videos, and he's doing well. He just learned something learns it very well, decides to go and explore, takes the risk, he does
Mm.
it, and he proves to the world, ah, I don't do this one, oh, on to the next one.
Mm. Mm.
So for some people, that's the way they want their life to be, and that's me. I am happy moving across industries. I'm not interested in millions of followers. I'm not interested in billions of naira. If they come, good, and they will eventually come. That's even one thing I've realized. It's one thing I've realized. Some things I
Mm.
used to stress myself about, now they are just coming my way. And I'm like, why did I even not know on time? Why did
Earlier.
I mean, yeah, people are just people. Somebody just randomly call me, Chijoke, are you available? We're having a training, so and so. Will you be? A pharmaceutical I'll be doing a training for a pharmaceutical company in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
a big. Um, I'm disclosing this here, but then I'll be doing a training for a company. And how did I start? How did it start? One of their representatives came to talk to me about something, saying, "Okay, oh, came to market a brand to me." And while we were talking, I listened to her. I saw how she was talking, and I said, "You're a very good speaker.
Mm.
No, you speak so well. You make a really good public speaker. Your communication skills are top notch." And she looked at me and was like, "Oh, how did you know? Are you sure?" That kind of. We always have that self doubt.
Yeah.
Someone has told me before, but I'm not. I say, okay, work on it. When I said
Mm.
work on it, just work, build. There's a lot that can come. And she said, serious? So
Mm.
she now asked me a question: how can I develop my skills? I really want to become better. How can I? And I told her, I train public speakers. You know, oh, you're a physiotherapist and you train speakers. Yes, I do. Okay, tell me about it. I sat her down, said lecturing, said teaching. By the time I got to a point, she was completely sold. She was like, no, no. What is it going to take? What will you take to mentor me in this journey? What will you take to actually coach me through
Mm.
as a speaker?
Yeah.
Do you know that from that lady, two of her friends also wanted me to coach them?
Yeah.
She also linked me up to the pharmaceutical company,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, and I will be doing a training for them.
Mm.
So um it's all because of the interconnectedness and
Mm.
the unwillingness to allow the mediocre mindset of the cheap populace to blind my own uniqueness.
Mm.
I have refused to allow the smallness of thinking of the
Mm.
average person out there
Mm.
to cripple my multidimensional excellence or
Mm.
interest. No.
Wow. Like you, you're practically taking questions out of my head, so that's why I'm allowing you to talk. Like you're taking questions out of my head. The one you used, I was about to say, okay, so what is the greatest mindset shift that you have noticed coaching people? And then you started talking about mindset. So I mean, you've taken all the questions out of me. I won't ask more questions again. But I have one more question. And that question is, how can you brand yourself as a multi-potential?
Beautiful. Powerful question. Powerful. How to brand yourself as a multi-potentialite. One, it begins from your mind. The moment you realize that it is possible, it will actually become possible. That's one. It begins from the mind. Understand that there's nothing wrong with it. You are not confused. You are not frustrated. You are not hustling, because that's what people think. Stop hustling. I heard this from Kule Shorin for the first time. Stop hustling. Start positioning. So dear multi potentialites, stop hustling. Start positioning. Stop seeing yourself as a hustler. Oh, when you tell somebody, "Hey, why are you doing this and doing this and doing that?" Say, Nigeria now. Nigeria will make everybody multiple. I hate it when people talk about that. It sounds silly to me. So I tell somebody, I do this and do this and do this, and it's like, Nigeria. How did I tell you anything about how did Nigeria enter this conversation? And the person will be like, me too. I do this. I do real estate. I do this. I do this. I'm like, okay, oh, wow. What made you interested in this one? Nigeria. You know Nigeria now. You can never tell. So they just put, no. That's not true. It's you first. It's you. This is my identity. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I want to do this. I'm doing this to help people. I'm doing this to transform people, transform individuals, transform organizations, companies, nations. So now, number two, when it comes to branding yourself as a multi-potentialite, get good. Get good at what you do. Double up, like double your effort. Why? The average person can read a book on finance. Okay, let's say in a week they read a book on finance and they are proud of themselves. The next week they read another book on finance and they're like, wow, one book per week, and they can go and rest. You know, by the first, second month, they have become, their shoulders are high. Oh, ask me anything about finance, I can talk, even if they don't have anything to show. They have knowledge, head knowledge. They are bragging, right? For you, you're going to use 1 week and read that book they read on finance, right? And you're struggling. And then the next week, you're trying to follow up, catch up with what they're doing. No. See, as a multi-potentialite, you have to do 3 times, 4 times more work than the average person. Not, I'm not making this a rule, but at least when you are starting out, when people don't know you, that's the best time to build. See, there are some trees that you will see. You will not know that the height of that tree that you are seeing, visible, is not more than the length of the roots. I tell people dig tap roots deep, dig so deep. Right now, I can readily manifest as anything. I can push here, push leadership, push women's health, push this, push that. I did the preparation years ago. This talk now, there's nothing here. There's not. I came from town. I went to see a client this today. There's nothing I prepared. I don't have any script. I don't have any script. I don't have any script. And you did not send me these questions. We did not. So it's not like it's rehearsed. There's a depth of experience and value and knowledge. There are systems you must build within yourself before you even start coming out. So build, dig, 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 dig. When people don't know you, when you come out, you can now start pushing those different things, right? Now, take it easy on yourself, one step at a time. You are not in a hurry to prove any point. It's not, you're not trying to prove a point to anybody. So now, what I was doing is, so I knew I had to do different things. I was learning, I call it spacing strategy. So I'll pick up, let's say, 4 courses in an area, 4 top rated courses, so not nonsense, 4 courses, and the course can be on networking, you know, and then I start those courses and read one book. One book is not a formula. Do what works for you. So 4 courses and a book, right? 4 very good courses of at least 2 hours or 3 hours each. By the time I go through it, the first course, why I arrived at the number 4 is because of my own experience. By the time I take the fourth course in almost any industry that I wanted to break into or topic that I wanted to speak on, I wanted to position as an expert. By the time I go through the fourth one, because I know how to look for courses, I teach people how to do online learning. But by the time I get to the fourth one, I realize that it is becoming repetitive, that there's almost nothing new under the sun again. I'm like, yes, yes, I've gotten this, I've gotten it. So by the time I'm taking a course and I begin to feel, uh okay, I've heard this before, I've heard this before, I can even create a better course. That's it. That one I will pause it. I'll probably go and pick up a book and read a few books or read a few pages and see how they itemize it. Then I'll go and itemize it in my jotter. Good a thing. um there was this my jotter here that I drafted some of those things. Let me see if I'll quickly get it. Let me quickly pick it up and show us. So I drafted some of those things there, and you know, for every course that I did, I would just do a quick draft on my, maybe pick a book and then do a quick draft. And this is an example. So I don't gather dust. See, I'm blowing dust off this. Hey, God, I beg. So now, look at this. Look at this. So look at this page. This is a course I took on networking. So look at this, how scattered, how crazy it looks. You just be seeing people, open palms, listen, humor first. So now it got to a point, for any other course I'm taking, I won't say anything new that I hear, because I mean, I learn from my experiences, I learn from different courses, I learn from people's stories. So when I'm hearing some of those things, I'll just go and be adding. I don't need to be cramming course word for word. Even when I teach, I don't love teaching. I don't enjoy teaching with slides that I'll now be reading my slide as if I'm doing, some people's presidents. That's how they do their. That's how they. So I would just anything new. I'll come here and squeeze it inside. From this, a 12 days training came out. 12 days, and this is where I fleshed it out. I said fleshing out here, fleshing out. Right now, this is where the main thing started. What is networking? 12 days training came out of this. And not just that, a book came out of this. One of the most powerful books I've written on networking, Your Ultimate Networking Guide. How to meet anybody anywhere in the world and connect with them, even if you are shy or introverted. That's, I mean, it's top notch. It's top notch. People have purchased it from different parts of the country. I mean, different parts of the world, not even country. So
Mm-hmm.
now I I just keep doing that. And then when I am done itemizing, I will teach what I have learned. I developed a model: learn, practice, teach.
Mm-hmm.
Learn, practice, share, teach, teach. So I'll go and teach that thing. I'll create a class.
Mm-hmm.
If 20 people, 50 people, 100 people join, fine. I'm doing it
Yeah.
for the first time so that I can pour out my thoughts and get those thoughts, copy it, put it somewhere. I'll still use it when I'm writing my book, when I'm creating any other course, doing any other slides, whatever. So I'll do that. Now, when I am pushing and projecting that one,
Mm-hmm.
because I have mastered it. And remember, mastery does not have to take 10,000 hours. I wish there are so many myths and biases to bust. Mastery doesn't have to take 10,000 hours. So when I'm now projecting one, I've gone back again inside. When you see me pushing something, I have dug so deep. That one is not what I'm learning again. I'm inside digging
Yes.
hard on something else. So I'm digging personal branding, teaching networking. When I'm done with networking, I'll pause it for a while, bring branding, teach. When I'm done with that, I'll put it, teach emotional intelligence, observe my audience, come back
Yeah.
again. So the more you do that, and people can see that you are credible, what people value is excellence and your ability to help them solve their problems, not your
Yeah.
niche. Yes. So,
Wow.
eh,
Ah. Wow. My God. Boy. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Okay, I think at this point we're just going to go to the icebreakers. We're just going to go to the icebreakers, and then oh my God, it's been. Okay, you know what? Let me just say wow and just leave it at that. Can you still hear me?
yes, I can. I can.
I go. So I'm just going to go to the icebreaker. Like, I have to come back and soak this in. And if you're watching from wherever you're watching from, please drop your nuggets. Like those nuggets were just doing bass goes. I didn't know where to start penning them down. So I will still have to come back to this video and pen down. Like you are a powerhouse of not knowledge, and I don't want to say expertise. Like you are a powerhouse of talent. Like there's so much passion and experience from the way you talk that like I'm compared to say, okay, coach, when can I subscribe for your coaching session? Wow, wow. Thank you so much. Now we go to the icebreaker. In the icebreaker, you pick three questions. They are random questions, you will know them. So pick three numbers, and any number that you pick, I will read out the question and then you will answer. So pick a number. I have 1 to 10.
Okay, number three. Three is for triangle.
Yeah. Okay. Question three. What inspired the creation of the multiverse and how has it evolved over time? What makes your tribe unique? What inspired your that group on Facebook, multiverse? What inspired it and how has it evolved over time? What makes it unique from other groups?
Amazing, amazing. So, the multiverse. How did it even start? I'm just so used to starting things. I've started plenty things, and so let me tell the interesting story. Multiverse started from pain, pain, not my own pain, but the pain of a friend, or let me say an acquaintance. In fact, not just one person and not two. Um, I've been speaking to people. I've spoken to people about multidimensional, just multipotentiality thing, and they cried, they wept. I didn't know how deep it was. I was thinking, oh, it's just is an identity. Oh, when you discover your identity and all that. But I met somebody that from a comment section. There was one guy, he's popular. He's no longer popular now. So algorithm has wiped him away. But there was a particular post that he made against multi-potentialites. It was like, today you are doing graphic design, tomorrow you are doing this, tomorrow they ask you, you are doing another one. What are you doing? Find one thing and stick to it. You are just confused. You are blah blah blah. So one lady now asked him a question, and he was just plain. Find one thing and stick to it. That's it. You don't be jumping around, that kind of thing. So I went to the comment section, the guy's comment section, and I said, no, this is not objective enough. Allow people to do what works for them. For some people, they will pick a niche and it works. For some people, they will need to explore before they eventually find what they love. You can't just force people into your own ideology. I just said it in a very polite way. The guy came for me, insulted me in a way, and then was like, it's not by talk. Name 10 people that are successful in business and they are not picking, that kind of all those silly talks. So I left there, and I was like, I'm going to prove this to you. Yeah, I'm going to prove this to you. I will assemble those people. They may not be known because society has not really focused on this conversation. Let me be showing my face. So I had to stand up and walk around a bit. So now they may not be known because society has been on the biased side of this conversation that doesn't favor people like me, people like us. So I told the guy that, don't worry, I would show you, I'll prove it to you that they are actually very successful, multi-talented people in Nigeria. In Nigeria. So now, when I saw that lady's comment, I was moved with compassion. I was moved with compassion. And I told her, I went to her DM and I said, hey, look, let's talk. Let's talk about this, let's talk. And she said, "Oh, that she has been following this guy, and she respects him very much, but this thing that he's saying is making her down, feel down, and all that." I said, "No problems. Let's talk." So when we started talking, and I introduced her to the philosophy of multipotentiality, and why trying to pick one thing may not work for her. I interviewed her, talked to her, and then I was asking her questions like, yes, yes. At the point, she was like, "Are you a prophet?" I said, "No, it's not about prophet. It's not about prophet. I'm just like you. So I'm telling you about myself, but I'm telling you in your own story." I was like, wow. So it's possible for me, like it's possible that I can actually do more than one, because she was like, because I can do this, I can do this. I'm a fashion designer and this and this. I got into tech and I'm learning this, and everybody is just telling me I should pick one. So which one should I pick? I'm confused. And each time I try to pick anyone, I crash. I'm like, yes, you will crash. You will crash. If this is not there are some people who can just pick a tiny thing and then they go with that. But if this is not your life design model, you will crash. So when I started talking to her, at the point she burst out into tears. I was shocked. I was like, sorry, I didn't know it was this serious. Oh." you know, then beyond her, another friend of mine, same thing. Talking to her, and she started tearing up. CJ, thank you so much. You don't know what you've just done for me. You've liberated me so much. Don't worry. In a few months or years' time, I will come back and give you credit. But if it's for credit, I'll give you. You don't know what you've done for me. I said, okay, fine. So now it kept on happening. Everywhere I went to, I was seeing people who were gifted in many ways, but then they were trying to stereotype themselves with the already given narrative by society. And who is this person that is trying to somebody has decided to use call and finish me this night. It's well. So like I was saying, it kept on happening. So that was how I knew
You should create
that
a group.
I was going to do something for them.
You should create a group.
Yes. So I decided to create a community where people like me can come together, and people who are also successful, multi-talented people, successful multi-potentialites can come in as mentors. I met people from different parts of the world. There's a coach and a mentor there, and he also shares his contents. I met him in one of the calls that we had, and it also encouraged me. So I said, let's just gather together. I was not looking towards something really big, but
Mm,
immediately I created that and I posted it.
mm,
It became more like a wave, a movement, something that has never been done before. And now everybody wants to associate with it. People were discovering the term multi-potentialite for the first time in their lives, and they're like, yes, this is me. So that's pretty much the story behind it. It came from place of passion and pain.
wow. Okay, I think I've just been saying wow, wow, wow,
Wow.
wow.
Okay, I think I've just been saying wow, 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 wow.
So pick another number.
I'll pick one.
Okay. Question one. If we look into your childhood diary or your mind as a kid, what is that one dream that you had and that you are actually living in? If we were to peep into your childhood dream.
Okay, childhood dream. One dream I had that I'm living in. Okay, that one dream is the ability to. I mean, I wanted to create everything. I wouldn't say I'm living in it directly, but I'm somehow living in it. I
Yeah.
loved creating things.
Okay.
I love building things. I built a satellite dish. a local satellite satellite dish, um, and it was working. We'll connect it and put it outside, connect it to the television, and we'll be watching, the television with it. I built it in my house with homemade tools. One of the tools was my mother's plate. I pray she has forgiven me for all the things I did to her plate. So I was building things like that. I'll build reading lamps. I'll build fan that actually worked, and would be using the lamp that I built in the house. Oh, my dad would be like, come and put it in his room. I say, no, put it in the passageway. So I loved all those things. So right now, and then I believed I could be everything. I believed I could be astronaut, medical doctor, engineer, and all that. So now, I did not become medical doctor. I did not become astronaut. I did not become engineer. But relatively, I'm in healthcare. I am an engineer for minds, for mindsets, you know, um, and I do basically what I want to do. So there's a sense of freedom and bliss that comes with childhood. One day you're going to be somewhere up there, you're going to help a lot of people, you're going to heal the world, you're going to do amazing things. There's that sense that was in me, and I would say yes, right now I'm living it. Because I have redefined success for myself, I would call myself a success. I'll call myself a working success. I'm not trying to be successful. I am success in motion. I'm experiencing success every day. So that's who I am. So basically that's it. That's firmament, that shade of my childhood dreams. In fact, apart from astronaut and engineer and all those things, I don't really think I remember childhood dreams like that. Because another thing about me, I'm a very progressive person. I move on. I move on. It has always been me. I move on. The part of me that you know right now may not exist by the next 2 years. I pray the women's health, the women's advocacy I'm doing now, I pray it doesn't dissolve because I really love it. I really enjoy. I love it. Because for a lot of reasons. But in the next 2 years, I may have moved on to maybe men's rights advocacy or
I
something
think we will
else.
just be on a
Talk
lookout
about
for
sports.
the next we will just be on a lookout for
You
the
said.
next phase.
You said.
We will be on a lookout for the next phase.
No problems at all. That would be great. So, that's me. I'm always transitioning. Yes.
Okay, pick the third question. Okay, pick. I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
10.
Okay, 10. Okay, 10. Okay, so let's imagine your tribe could be vote to give you a new nickname. Which nickname would that be? If your tribe could give you a nickname, which will it be?
My tribe. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. um. A new nickname. I'm looking for something that represents me. I would have said octopus. I would have said the octopus, but the octopus already exists. There's somebody I know, Sam Obafemi. He's the octopus, and I wouldn't want to identify as the baby octopus. But each other thing, I'm looking for something. I'm looking for. I don't want to say chameleon because chameleon signifies something that I don't like. Well, I would have said chameleon. No, I would have said. As I said, something about chameleon, but I don't know exactly what it's going to sound like. Hmm, a nickname. So I can say multi-mentor. Yeah, just multi-mentor.
Oh
I was looking
my
for something.
Today, this is the longest I've had. And then, I mean, like, I've had to say, wow, 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 wow. At a point, I said, you know what, just soak this in, sit down there and enjoy, because this is what I had in mind. Like, to sit down with people that we see on day-to-day basis, and you don't know what is going, like, you don't know what they carry. It's sometimes people, it's when people pass away that we are not trying to grapple through informations online about them. Meanwhile, there are opportunities like this that somebody could just sit over the table with you, and then they're pouring down the blessedness. I think I picked that word from you. Of what they are made of. Wow. There's a question, but I'll put it in the comment section on YouTube so that you can answer it directly on YouTube. I won't want to keep you any longer than I've kept you already. All I can say is, you want to take it?
You can ask.
You want to take it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's by Rafiat Afolabi. She said this is current. She posted it very early when you started talking about growing up, when you saw difference. She said this is currently my challenge. I really want to do many things, but many are telling me to focus on one stuff. I don't know what to focus on, so I lose track and start doing nothing.
It's a common challenge. It's a common challenge. Okay. Yeah. So like I was saying, it's a common challenge. Everybody who considers himself or herself to be multi-talented has faced this at some point or another. So you are not alone. You are not alone in the dark. What I'll advise you to do, there's actually a lot to do. What I'll advise you to do is to get mentored, get mentored and surround yourself with people who are doing this so that you understand that it's a possibility. Find a mentor who doesn't shut you down. One of the challenges I've had with getting mentors is that a lot of mentors want to sound cliche. They want to identify with that famous saying, Jack of all trades, the master of none. Follow one course until success, whatever that means to them. Right? So the pressure is always there. And by the time I start listening to you, and it's as if everything you're saying comes against my own fundamental life philosophy and identity archetype, I'll get tired, I'll run away. So now, how do you know what to do? Clarity. Clarity is important. Whether you're multi-talented or not, clarity is of utmost importance. Take out time, study yourself. Study yourself. I've done teachings on this severally, how to find clarity as a multi-potentialite. I'm also writing a book. That book, I've been writing it since, I think, 2020. Yeah, 2020. It's almost done. Oh. And thank God I did not, I released it at some point. Then I stopped releasing it because I needed to add a lot, and I've added a lot to it. A lot. In the last chapter of the book is how to gain clarity as a multi-potentialite. So there are things that you look out for. I call them 10 P's. I hope I remember all of them off the top of my head. There's passion, there's personality, there's profit, there's people, there's platform, there's pain, there's preparedness, there's purpose, there's personality. I've mentioned personality already. So these are the different things that you just put together. Look at them. And then when you are looking at them, it will give you an idea. What do you need to do? And then what do you need to drop? So at the end of the day, you can pick two, three, four things that you can focus on in the now. That way, it will not overwhelm you because you cannot do everything at the same time. You're a human being. As much as you are multi-talented, you are still human. You cannot just cut everything. It will stress you, to overwhelm you. So, how do you identify the most important, most valuable, most profitable four or three that you can handle? Why should it be three or four? If it is too little, if it's one, you will creep, you will fall. It's like a bicycle that they are not pedaling. If you bring a bicycle and you're riding a bicycle and all of a sudden you stop pedaling, you'll start falling and you'll drop, right? But the more you pedal, the more you. So that's you. Your human design does not allow stalling, stagnancy. It doesn't allow it. So you need to keep riding. You need to add more things, to add more experiences, to keep your brain intact. That's the way you view the world. So now you can discover two, three, four most important things that you should focus on now. Then you dive into those ones. It's easier for you to learn. When you have mastered those ones, build those ones, earned from those ones, monetize them, you can turn them to products and find another thing. Turn them to products and services that can run without you having to be present, and find something else again to keep you going. Or if those ones are doing really well, continue with them, then integrate other things into them. Okay, so I'm running an academy. I'm running women's this, women's that. There are so many things I can just carry and be fixing under them. People can reach out to me for partnership. I'll say, okay, I already have an organization that is doing this. We can partner. Don't worry, don't pay me, but let me just partner with you. That way, it's a win-win situation. You can just be living life, enjoying yourself, and still making a lot of impact. But the main thing is this thing is possible. Okay, it's possible. Don't let anybody bully you out of your identity. So I hope that answers your question. And then you can always reach out. You can reach out. You can reach out. There are two ways you can reach out. It's either you're paying for that, for my coaching, of course, or you can just go to YouTube. I do this a lot these days. I'll just give you my YouTube link. Just go to my YouTube and find whatever you want to find. Just scroll. Just be scrolling. You'll find so many things. You'll find so many things that will help you. Teachings I've done in the past that will help you. So yes, over to you.
I can't thank you enough. Okay, the last part that you mentioned, I did it for somebody today. I've recorded how to host your products on a particular platform like that, like 4 or 5 years ago, and somebody was just all over the place today. I want to host, and I'm like, I've done that. Like, I just copied the link and I sent. So Rafiat, I would say that, see, Coach, no, don't let me call him Coach. Ambassador Chidoke is trusted, known, trusted, tested, verified. Okay, so go for the free version of his program, but I can assure you, if you can push a little bit harder and pay for one of his coaching session, you will get results. In fact, if you have to even sit down with this video alone, like all over again, and jot down, there's so many things packed in there. And that's how we draw cutting over this conversation today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining me. I can't thank you enough. So, um, I'm trying to let's let's let me see. Let's get your social media platform across all the platforms, and then we'll just draw a curtain for the conversation today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I should. So yes,
Yeah.
I'm not hard. I'm not hard to get. I'm not hard to get. So I am Chijoke Otiba on all platforms. So once you go to any platform and type my name is on the screen. Yeah, Chijoke Otiba. Chijioke Once typed on LinkedIn, I am the only Chijoke Otiba on LinkedIn, the only Chijoke Otiba on Facebook, the only Chijoke Otiba on Instagram. So once you go and type it, you will find me. And it's not my names are not common like that. So once you type it, you'll find me. And then don't go to Twitter. Don't look for me on Twitter. I don't like that platform. I don't like that. It's not just favoring me at all. I don't even know what goes on there. Just people dragging themselves. But that's by the way. And then my WhatsApp number, you can always get my. Okay, let me quickly type my WhatsApp number.
Okay.
Let me type my WhatsApp number here. Okay. Uh, my phone can't even. I can't type. Let me see. It's 09030370115. So that's plus 234 9030370115. So if you want to reach out to me on WhatsApp for consultation, for anything, partnership, collaboration, you want to invite me to speak, anything, I'm available. You can reach out and we'll get to talk. So
Oh boy.
thank you
Thank you
so much.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that joined in. Thank you for those that will be catching the replay. Thank you for like if you sit down and watch this over 1 hour video, you are the real VIP. Like thank you so much. So this is how we draw the curtain today. I will say it's been an interesting conversations, yeah, conversations, a lot of those in one. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and I'm so grateful because coach is doing this with me. Till I come again with another bold personality, stay tuned, stay on my timeline. You can follow me across social media platform at Medinat Oyedele, even from my YouTube channel at Medinat Oyedele TV. You can reach out to me. I'm a multi-potential also, so I teach French, I translate, I interpret, yeah. And then I write, I coach, I podcast. It's a whole lot. You can be everything all at once and still be productive, profitable, and then you're making impact. Till I come again in another episode of Bold Conversations with Medinat. Stay tuned, be positive, be productive, and be bold.